Just briefly, first of all, thanks for being here and welcome. In my opening day speech, one of the things I mentioned was I asked Representative Kaufman and the Government Oversight Committee to take a look into the prison in Fort Madison. They've now taken a visit down to Fort Madison and got to see things firsthand, and then this week the committee met and took their first round of testimony. Not in a position to necessarily draw any conclusions yet. In fact, it would appear from the reports that I got from the committee that really what's happened is we've generated more questions than we have answers right now. So I would anticipate that to continue. Obviously, we're still working in early in session, but it's just one of the things that House Republicans laid out, and we're getting after that. I will say this, that while it's probably too early to draw a final conclusion, it does appear this is something that Iowans across the state should not be satisfied with in any way, shape, or form. That having been said, the last thing I'll mention on this point is that clearly the number one priority with regard to that prison right now is getting it open and operating. And so we'll work towards that end as well.
This week we passed the supplemental state aid bill, and next week we look at moving forward on some of the procedural bills and other bills might come out of committee. It's also my intent to bring before the bill that changes the dates for setting the supplemental state aid to the first one being set in the first 30 days and the second one being set before the end of session. So we'll bring that bill forward again next week. So that's kind of the way the calendar
A couple things come to mind. One is, over the course, including the bill that the leader made reference to, we've now committed, we're approaching $600 million over the course of the last 5 years of additional spending in K-12 education. Of the additional $200 million or so that we have for this particular budget year, we're committing half of that money to them. Again, we're now, each student in a classroom represents in excess of $10,000. Makes a 20-person classroom worth $200,000. That is a significant commitment on behalf of the taxpayers of Iowa. So I just don't see how you look at that any other way. We are going to have to know, I don't know exactly what the cuts will be yet, but we are going to have to go into other areas of budget and make cuts in order to afford this. We're willing to do this, and we're going to do this. And we're very committed to this. I can tell you what we are not willing to do, and that is return to the days of when the Democrats controlled both chambers and Governor Culver was the governor. And actually, at some level, the debate Tuesday night in the House was almost as if they were getting their advice from Governor Culver, because if you listen to them, all they talked about was more spending, raise taxes, and go out and start using one-time money on it again. That's exactly how we got in this mess. We're not returning to the days where we make promises and don't follow through on them.